Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, July 1st, 2021. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. A tropical storm warning remains in effect for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are imminent within the warning area, in this case within the next 12 hours. Desiree Neverson-Jack of the SVG Med Services told SVG-TV News that the most recent prediction is that there will be about 6 inches of rainfall.
At 5 p.m., Elsa was located approximately 520 miles east-southeast of St. Vincent. The storm is moving quickly toward the west-northwest, and based on model guidance, the center is forecast to pass near SVG sometime around the mid-morning or midday period. Expect intense showers and thunderstorm activities with over 5 inches of rainfall in a short period of time that will likely result in flash floods. Storm force winds of 35 to 55 miles per hour, coupled with intense showers, can cause structural damages, uprooted trees, and damaged crops.
Neverson-Jack said storm force winds will be between 39 meters per hour to 55 meters per hour, and that the seas will be rough with waves reaching over 16 meters. Small craft operators are advised to stay in port.
High waves of over 16 feet or 5 meters are likely obstructing visibility. For these conditions, be prepared. Take the necessary measures to protect livelihoods and properties. These conditions will linger into Saturday, with weather conditions such as the winds and the rainfall becoming less intense around Saturday evening. A high surf advisory is in effect. Small craft operators are advised to remain in port. Sea bathers should stay out of the water and away from the coastlines if possible. Stay safe and please stay updated as the Met Office continues to monitor the system.
Warning that downpours within a short period of time are likely to result in life-threatening flash flood and mudslides. Residents are being asked to take the necessary measures to protect livelihoods and properties and to continue to keep updated on the progress of the system. The Med Services said the next advisory will be issued at 11 p.m. tonight. And there will be an island-wide shutdown tomorrow, Friday, July 2nd, 2021, as Tropical Storm Elsa approaches. The Agency for Public Information, API, said a decision was made by the government at a meeting of the National Emergency Council at 2:30 p.m. today. As a result of the national shutdown, all businesses and schools, with the exception of essential services, will remain closed tomorrow. SVG is expected to begin feeling the impact of Tropical Storm Elsa from 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. All are asked to rush to complete preparations before the storm. Residents living in low-lying areas are asked to exercise caution as rainfall of about up to 8 inches expected within a 48-hour period. Fisher folk are also asked to remain in port, and sea bathers are not to go into the sea as sea conditions are expected to deteriorate. No ferries will operate tomorrow until the all clear is given. Meanwhile, in an address to the nation this evening, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves asks that Tropical Storm Elsa not be taken for granted.
Do not take Tropical Storm Elsa for granted. It is not that we are saying that we can come for you. At this moment, you have to make sure have to be certain that where you are safe. If you are in any of these areas where you can have these lahars, so I'm urging you to make arrangements and go to safer places.
PM Gonzalez said all COVID-19 protocols will be observed at the shelters.
We will continue, all of us, to observe all the COVID-19 protocols within the emergency shelters for this 2021 hurricane season. All persons, by following the protocols, we have to protect ourselves too against the transmission of COVID-19. If you go to an emergency shelter and you have any flu-like symptoms, or if you're not feeling well, because you may not have flu-like symptoms, PM, I convened a meeting of this, were briefed by the Met Services on the approach of Tropical Storm Elsa. And we have put all the systems in place for a potential impact of this tropical storm. I chaired the meeting.
The Prime Minister outlined the essential workers who are expected at work tomorrow.
So that we can get the work done in meeting. The following decisions were made. 1, all businesses, schools and public services will close tomorrow, the 2nd of July. Only essential services such as the police, health services, utilities, water, electricity, only those services will be open, and the workers for those services risking anything tomorrow with people's lives. I know you may have.
PM Gonzalez also urges all residents to take the necessary precautions.
You may want to shelter your vessels, but you shelter them as you see appropriate. But I don't want you to be taking passengers tomorrow. Go to the shelter this evening, tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. 4, the Argyle International Airport will be closed tomorrow. And 5, the National Emergency Operations Center will be fully activated at 6 o'clock. I ask you to do the usual things. Stock up on water, food, medicines, and emergency supplies.
Liat today announced the cancellation of all flights into SVG tomorrow, Friday. In a news release, the airline said it was forced to close all flights due to the approaching tropical storm Elsa. In anticipation of the situation, passengers are asked to monitor Liat's websites for updates. Passengers wishing to reschedule are asked to contact Liat's reservations call center for assistance. And as the island braces for the effects of Tropical Storm Elsa and the rest of the hurricane season, the Traffic Department of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force is encouraging motorists to be extremely careful and vigilant on the roads, especially when wet and slippery. The encouragement comes from Inspector of Police with the Traffic Department, Panel Brown.
On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, the officer in charge, Traffic Superintendent Kenneth John, and the men and women of the Traffic Department and the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, I want to encourage motorists as we are in the hurricane season, and most of the times while you might be driving, our road might be wet and slippery.
Inspector Brown is also advising motorists to ensure that their vehicles have good tires and brakes and is in good working condition.
I'm advising you to ensure that your vehicle are equipped with good tires and brakes. Make sure that your vehicle is in proper working condition. In the event that you have to remove from one area to another area, that you can get your transportation to be in good working condition so that you can move. I am also advising motorists to be extremely careful while driving on our roads during these periods. As I said, there might be obstruction, there might be sand, there might be landslide, there might be drip of oil on the surface of the road. You have to be extremely careful and vigilant during this time as we're in the hurricane season.
Lieutenant Commander of the SVG Coast Guard Services, Enos Hamlet, is advising owners of fishing vessels or boats to start securing their vessels ahead of the approaching storm.
The Coast Guard would advise the local boat owners to do is to start securing their vessels, which is to start pulling them up on land as far as possible and securing them. And boat owners who cannot pull their vessels up and would need to probably go to a safe port for shelter would need to start preparing themselves to do so as well. That is the recommendation from the Coast Guard as it relates to the current situation where that we are under tropical storm warning.
In some COVID-19 related news now, Inspector of Police Panel Brown is encouraging all members of the public to cooperate with the police as they continue to do their part in ensuring that the public health COVID-19 protocols are being followed.
I'm also encouraging the general public whom the personnel from the traffic department might get in contact with from time to time because of the nature of their duty to continue to cooperate with the police. The members of the traffic department is out there looking into your best interests. They are out there making sure that the protocol, the health protocol is maintained, so you have to cooperate with them. They are looking into your best interests. They have your interests at heart. So I'm advising you, the general public, to cooperate with the police. From time to time, you might get in contact with them. Please, I'm asking you to cooperate and adhere to the rules and guidelines as set out in our laws and by the Ministry of Health.
As part of the public health COVID-19 measures, public transportation are required to limit the number of passengers to 6 less than the number of passengers that they are licensed to carry. As a result, an 18-seater van should only carry 12 passengers, a 22-seater 16, and a 28-seater 22 passengers. All passengers in public transportation are also required to wear masks. Failure to do so, passengers and van owners or operators can be ticketed and fined. And 2 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported from 151 samples processed on Tuesday, June 29th, resulting in a positivity rate of 1.3%. 4 new recoveries were noted over the reporting period. 209 cases are currently active and 12 persons with COVID-19 have died. 2,227 cases of COVID-19 and 2,600 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since March 2020. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said persons who persist in incorrect or no mask use, remain unvaccinated, and participate in mass gatherings will continue to be at risk for being infected and spreading COVID-19. To reduce the spread of COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, compliance with the protocols, including the effective use of masks, physical distancing, and evidence-based recommendations to be vaccinated with the available vaccines, is strongly recommended. In other news, the Ministry of National Mobilization continues to partner and receive assistance to help with the humanitarian needs on the ground in the aftermath of the explosive eruptions of La Soufrière volcano in April 2021. On today, July 1st, the Adventist Development Relief Agency, ADRA, in collaboration with the Ministry of National Mobilization, made relief payments to families within the red and orange zones. A Minister of National Mobilization, Randy Brewster, expressed gratitude to ADRA on behalf of the government and people of SVG. According to Director of Social Development, Marissa Finch-Burke, the assistance is being paid out to approximately 335 families. She said the families receiving the assistance are those who, though in need, were unable to receive the support provided by the World Food Program. Finchburg further added that these families are of the working class but also need support, as during this time their income alone is insufficient due to additional expenses incurred from the eruption. Emergency Response Coordinator of ADRA, Lisa Woods, said the organization's close relationship with the Ministry of National Mobilization played a critical role in selecting the qualified families receiving the one-off payment. ADRA is the humanitarian arm of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which provides support in times of disasters. The ongoing support from ADRA has been approximately 91,000 meals provided since the launch of the food program immediately after the volcano eruption. This country's lone electricity company, Vinlec, has been commended for work done generally in SVG and more specifically over the past few months with COVID and the volcanic eruptions. The commendation came from Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during a presentation on the Iron La Soufrière program on NBC Radio on Wednesday. PM Gonsalves said Vinlec has been doing good work and continues to improve its efficiency and reliability. According to the Prime Minister, since the volcano erupted, the company has been given monthly discounts, which will continue until August. He noted that over 500,000 EC dollars in discounts have been given to customers in addition to other assistance and relief.
Additionally, thus far, they have given approximately $530,000 debt forgiveness. I'm not talking about the discounts now, I'm talking about debt forgiveness. About $530,000 debt forgiveness to residents in the orange and red zones on the volcanic hazard map. You see the logistics hub at Annesville, which is so important. They contributed about $66,000 in infrastructure costs for the installation of electricity to support the establishment of the logistics hub at Annesville. In material support, they contributed over $20,000 to a number of evacuation centers. And of course, Vinlec is absorbing the ongoing electricity expenses of approximately $1,300 per month for the operations of the logistics hub at Annesville. I would say that is a good citizen, Vinlec, and they have responded admirably to the requests of the government to make an important contribution over and above what they normally do within the context of the challenges which we have at the present time.
The staff at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center will be supported by their union in an industrial action next Monday and Tuesday. President of the Public Service Union, Errol Boucher, told SVGTV News that the staff and the PSU were forced to take this action after a year trying to resolve a number of issues at the center.
Really has to do with the treatment of workers by the current management. A number of issues have to do with the care for both the workers and the patients by the management, or the lack of care, lack of respect. And we would have listed a number of issues. And we've been going back and forth, between the permanent secretary and mental health, and we're really getting nowhere. The outbreak, the COVID-19 outbreak at the mental health institution last year was what we believe to be the result of the failure of the management and the Ministry of Health to address some of the serious issues there that relates to the protocols of admitting patients, overcrowding, etc. We would have raised all of those issues. So when the outbreak occurred, we were not surprised. And we said the problem in our view at the mental health really is one of management. Management is to create all of these issues.
Boucher noted that after making statements on the conditions and problems at the rehabilitation center, the response from the authorities was one of denial.
Statement, we have responses from the Prime Minister and the Minister and the Permanent Secretary denying that. In fact, our Prime Minister said it's just pure politics. It had nothing to do with politics because a patient died and a number of staff came down with COVID, plus a large number of the patients. So that was a very serious issue and not want to be trivialized or lumped into the corner of pure partisan politics. Serious issues affecting the workers and affecting the patients. We since then have written to the Ministry of Health and gotten no response in trying to have dialogue to address the issues. The workers themselves took it upon themselves. They took the responsibility to send a petition signed by more than 3/4 of the staff, raising a number of petitions calling for a change in management because they themselves recognize the problem is with the management.
The PSU president added that the problem that the staff and patients are experiencing basically has to do with the present management of the facility.
But this management is a whole different kettle of fish. They signed a petition, sent it to the Ministry of Health regarding their problems and concerns with respect to the management of the institution. And instead of the Ministry of Health, through the Permanent Secretary, respond by say meeting with the workers and hearing what their issues are and trying to resolve them, send their whole list of names back to the management of the mental health institution. And that management that started to interrogate the very staff, which compounded the issue. So there is really no ending sight.
Boucher said that the Governor General has already been informed of the withdrawal of their service next week and that he is not sure how long the withdrawal will last, noting that it will go on until all matters are addressed.
And I trust that the Ministry of Health, the Permanent Secretary, and the Minister of Health within the public service take these things very seriously because we have also copied the Minister of Health and we have not even heard from him, which means I don't know whether that shows a lack of concern for the issues that are being raised by the workers. I don't know what it really signals, but we are in a time when there's a lot of injustice in the country, and the injustice that these workers are experiencing at the mental health is just another side of the coin. And therefore, it cannot go on much longer. They can't just keep sucking it up because their mental health, the mental health of the staff is of grave concern to the union. Because if we're not very careful, they can find themselves being broken down mentally because of the stress that exists at that institution, brought on primarily by the management of the institution. So they have to safeguard their own mental health. And the union have the responsibility to defend the rights of the workers and to ensure that where their health is concerned, that they are healthy enough to carry out their duties.
As of Monday, June 28, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Coast Guard Service temporarily suspended the search for missing Canoan fisherman Esley Martin. Martin and his fishing vessel Comfort reportedly went missing at sea on June 16th. In a telephone interview with SVG-TV News, Lieutenant Commander of the SVG Coast Guard, Enos Hamlet, said that they, along with MRCC Trinidad, were in search for the missing fisherman since he was reported missing. However, there have been no sightings to date. Lieutenant Commander Hamlet said neighboring countries have already been notified of the missing fisherman.
Owner of a fishing vessel Comfort went missing on the 16th of June, having gone out to fish in the Grenadine island of Canoan. Since then, we have done searches for him. MRCC Trinidad, which is a Maritime Rescue Coordination Center, would have done some aerial searches, which turned out to be futile, and our local Coast Guard would have done surface searches, which also turned out to be futile. Other Our neighboring countries were informed, and the lookout as well, but we haven't had any positive report on him. So as of the Monday the 28th, the search has been temporarily suspended until any further development in the case.
The police here are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of Natrigale Regisford, a 25-year-old unemployed of Fairhall. The police say, according to investigations, the deceased was approached by an assailant or assailants earlier today and shot about his body with a gun. He was rushed to the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital for medical attention, but subsequently succumbed to his injuries. Person or persons with information that can assist with this investigation are asked to contact the Assistant Commissioner in charge of crimes at telephone number 1784-4561-339 or the officer in charge of the CID, the Major Crime Unit, or the CRO at telephone number 1784-4561-810 or the officer in charge of the South Central Division or any police station or police officer you are comfortable with. All information, the police say, will be treated confidentially. Investigations into the incident are ongoing. In other news now, we hear that Isabella Sam and Kalia Jackson, both students of the Girls High School, wrote the winning essays for this year's Ministry of Foreign Affairs essay competition. The award ceremony held today celebrated all the young Vincentians who participated in this year's competition, which featured two categories. The Envoy category, won by Isabella Sam, included other students from ages 9 to 13, while the Ambassadors category was won by Kalia Jackson and included student ages 14 to 18. Isabella Sam presented her winning essay at today's ceremony. The topic was the Cuban Brigade should receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Discuss.
It is no secret that, on a global scale, the Cuban Brigade has done and continues to do tremendous service to humanity in the field of medicine wherever a need arises. On this basis, I believe that the brigade to be most worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize. More than 9,000 Cuban medical professionals have provided care to over 4 million individuals and saved more than 89,000 lives. Numerous countries and organizations have recognized and honored the Cuban Brigade for its contribution to humanity. On May 26, 2017, the World Health Organization presented the Dr. Lee Jung-wook Memorial Prize for Public Health to the Brigade in acknowledgement of its medical support in emergency situations.
Kalia Jackson, winner of the Ambassadors category, also read her winning essay on the topic. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, in an address to the nation, stated, "No one is safe until everyone is safe." Discuss how regional and international organizations can help us to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic.
Most recently, in a GovUK News article dating back to 1st March 2021, it was reported that the Public Health England, PHE, did a study that showed that the Pfizer and Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines are highly effective in reducing severe COVID-19 infections up to over 60% among elderly persons. This statistical information from these regulatory bodies can be used by the Ministry of Health and the Environment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to influence Vincentians to take the COVID-19 vaccines as the benefits outweigh the risk. In conclusion, regional and international organizations can assist us in many ways to fight against the COVID-19 virus by providing monetary support, medical equipment, and personal protective equipment, and donating the newly developed COVID-19 vaccine. Though they can do all of this for us, we must also do our part and adhere to COVID-19 protocols as well as get vaccinated, since, and I quote, "No one is safe until everyone is safe."
On hand to congratulate the students was Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kiesel Peters.
That I take seriously any investment in this nation's young people. And I want you to take seriously, the students who are here, you must take seriously the contributions you can make to this beautiful country of ours, our Hairuna.
Also delivering remarks at the awards ceremony was Senior Foreign Services Officer Tamira Brown, who congratulated the group of students for the wealth of ideas they shared for a brighter St. Vincent and the Grenadines through their essays.
As policymakers, as policy administrators, I'm sure that you can appreciate that if we take a top-down approach to solving some of these problems, we would be in trouble. That is why the participation of the youth in this essay writing competition is absolutely important. And I would like to commend all our wonderful students seated here who contributed their opinions, who shared with us their research for a better St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College has partnered with the University of the West Indies Cave campus Faculty of Medical Sciences to offer Vincentians an opportunity to pursue a master's in nursing locally through the SVG Community College Division of Nursing Education. The college said the program, which intends to welcome its first cohort in September 2021, targets registered general and psychiatric trained nurses who have at least 5 years post-RN experience. Director of the college, Nigel Scott, welcomed the new initiative by reiterating the importance of continued development of SVG's human capital. Scott also commented that partnership is another indication of the UWI's and the SVG Community College joint commitment to providing growth opportunities for students and supporting them in their pursuit of excellence as they step into the future. The UWI's Dr. Wendy Seeley, Program Coordinator of the MSCN program at the UWI Cave campus, echoed similar sentiments. She said such collaborations will build the capacity of the staff and students in the various organizations, departments, and serves to enhance the cross-fertilization of knowledge, expertise, and skills. The MSCNO offers 2 areas of specialization, nursing administration and nursing education. It will be delivered through the blended format of online and face-to-face sessions and consists of 17 courses over a 2-year period. Applicants are encouraged to visit the college website for more information or contact local coordinator Beverly Liverpool.